Good evening, everyone. We're on to the next race here in the USA Trucks, and things are going to be a little bit different here tonight as the actual track can only host 26 trucks at a time. So we're going to have two heat races to set the field for the main event here tonight. Two fields of 21 coming your way with 60 laps before we do the 200 lap finale at the end of the night. In heat number one here, it looks as if Trevor Walker on the front row alongside of Chris Harvey. Then you've got Philip Leeds and the 24 of Kyler Sestre. Cash and Matthew Fastnot. Nate Newman and Roach. Dave Steele Jr. switching over to Chevy now for the series alongside Adam Starr. Belafon with newcomer here, Alan Malcolm. Dalton Scott and Silas Huddleston. Driver Luke and William Kinsella Jr. Lucas Holmes and Al Bunch. After this race, that 15 truck will get back on its normal rotation for drivers to be in the seat. And then you have Kat Durham and Lotus King with Jamison Thole rounding out the field here in heat number one. 60 laps is going to go by pretty quickly. And with no LCQs, your main goal is to finish in the top 13 here to graduate to the main event tonight. As you can see, Trevor Walker with a QR code on the door. There's a new scheme coming to reflect that. The QR code actually is for helping donate to the firefighting in Hawaii right now. I do think that this track I might have to go out and edit something. Yeah, they want you to have full pace laps, so that might be what's going on here. I don't think I have full pace lap. Yep, there we go. Apologies. Yeah, it even says use full pace lap to race. So the running order might be a little different. Chances are it's probably going to be a lot of the same. Dave Steele Jr. actually bests Trevor Walker, as you've got Belafon, Chris Harvey, Kyler Sestre, Adam Starr, Cash, Alan Malcolm, Nate Newman, Matthew Fastnot, Lotus King, Dalton Scott, and Philip Leeds. Those are your top 13 starting here in heat number one.
Everything gets right there, Jim. 4. Guys, gonna be coming to you here in a sec. Big day. Let's make the most of it.
This is definitely bigger of the unknowns when we come to race on the dirt here in the USA Truck Series. A lot like a super speedway race where a wild card winner may come out of the woodworks here. And so off to the early lead, it's Dave Steele Jr. taking that lead away from Trevor Walker. 3 wide behind him. And with no LCQs here tonight, it's going to be do or die to stay within the top 13 here. Trevor Walker doing pretty good to hold in second there. 3 wide for that second position. Belafon getting a nose there on the inside. Seems like whenever someone gets a hair, the others kind of rubber band back to the front of that. But finally, Belafon settles into second here. Kyler Sestre goes low. Side by side, good action here, fighting for second place. As mentioned, these 60 laps will go by pretty quickly on a track this size. It's a very, very small track. Alan Malcolm in his debut here tonight, running 9th in the number 9 truck. And our last transfer as they run right now would be Matthew Fastnot. Fastnot's able to get by King there. So now King on the bubble, defending the position from Dalton Scott. Now Dalton Scott up into the transfer position as King has to fight from behind here. Silas Huddleston actually has made quite a leap up towards 11th here. He was outside the top 15, so good start to the race here for him. As you can see going through the rest of the field, it looks like Al Bunch is going to have to settle for sitting this one out tonight if he can't get some momentum in his favor. Now we got Trevor Walker up to second here. Dave Steele still holding that lead. And this would not count as a win for Chevy, as this is only a heat race. But definitely looks like a solid opportunity for Chevy to shine here tonight on the dirt. Steele had changed from Ford to Chevy mid-season here, and seems like the switch was a good one, as he's looking better than what he's looked previously when running out there as a Ford. But now he's going to have to defend here from one of the sluggers here in the series, Trevor Walker, who has shown his strengths on dirt tracks and road courses. So not out of his comfort zone here. Definitely is going to be a hard one to beat. Getting sideways there, going through the turn, and now he's right alongside the back bumper of Dave Steele. The two of them fighting side by side. This is going to be an exciting pass for position if he can pull it off. So now Trevor Walker holds lead here as we are still 38 laps to the completion of this heat race. Took them about 23 laps, but now they're catching lap traffic. Dave Steele not letting Trevor get too far away here as he takes the lead back and is able to get by the lap traffic relatively easily there. Showing some impressive strength there in the 22 truck, as that is Trackhouse Racing materializing here in the USA trucks. So we know that they are proven within the Cup side of things. Oh, and we got a caution. As you can see, Dave Steele's gonna... Ooh, he's gonna lose the lead there at the line. Just by a hair. Holy cow. So let's see what brought out the caution. I believe it might have been the 31 truck here. Oh, yeah. And Kyler Sestre, oh, looks like he's going to get involved in this slightly. Sestre was actually running third, due in part to the spin out of the 31 truck. He had to go high here, and that put him up in the marbles. When he went up there in the marbles, he lost a couple spots, and also gets some damage there when he runs up into Matthew Fastnot. So there's a lot going on there during that caution period. Trevor Walker steals the lead away there at the line, as they are under caution right now with only about 30 laps left to go in heat number 1. If you're just joining us here tonight, the dirt racing here at the Chili Bowl, we can't fill the whole field up with 42 trucks. It's too small to do that. So we have Heat 1 and Heat 2 to determine who makes it to the main event here tonight in a 26 truck field. So the way that's going to work out, the top 13 will transfer as they run right now. We've got Trevor Walker, Dave Steele, Chris Harvey, Belafon, Matthew Fastnot, Philip Leeds, Adam Starr, Cash, Alan Malcolm, Dalton Scott, Nate Newman, Roach, and Silas Huddleston are your current transfers as it runs right now. Quite good representation for Chevy, as we've got a couple of them in the top 13 here. When our two leaders had to pull off the track, I don't know why that was. Now they are a lap down, so that's yep, this will force my hands. We'll go ahead and do a LCQ so that everyone that should be in this at the end of the thing. Unless they are able to somehow get back to the front, which I could wave them around. Let's do that. So now they're going to have to try and fight their way up to 13th with only 17 laps to go. Great, we had another situation there where they came down pit road unexpectedly. Yeah, so we're going to make it so that there's an LCQ. Wow, there's more drivers going down pit road. I don't know what's buggy with this track, but we did not have this problem last time out that this track was run. Oh, and now we've got a wreck. Oh, and it's carnage all. Ooh. Well, it was going to be exciting for something. I just didn't know what to expect here tonight. Belafon has a rough go of it there, gets run into by Alan Malcolm. And this will kind of force my hands. I will make it so we have an LCQ to give everyone a fair shake of the whole deal here tonight. So right now, only the top 10 from Heat 1, the top 10 from Heat 2, and then we'll have an LCQ with 6 drivers that will move out of that. So now they're racing to top 10, which I probably should have done to begin with. I just didn't really know about doing an LCQ. If we could have a clean race, it would have been fine to do 2 heats. But with the chaos and commotion here, been a perfect storm to make it so we're going to have an LCQ now. So the way things have shaken up, it is now Dalton Scott leading over Adam Starr, Roach, Cash, Silas Huddleston, Newman, Kinsella Jr., Walker, Luke, and King. Outside of the top 10, we've got Thole, Holmes, Durham, Bunch, and Steele. I agree with what Fardakai mentioned there. I think too, I'm wondering if they get like a jump start, because it's always the lead 2, and I'm wondering if it's like a black flag, if they black flag the leaders for jumping the start. And then they had to re-wave the caution here. So I'm wondering, I'm going to keep an eye on the 2 leaders, because it always seems to be the leaders that get sent down pit road. One thing I might have to disable is double file restarts here on the dirt, because it's going to be, I've known for a fact that better cautions always seems to give us fits when it comes to short tracks. The AI don't know what's going on half the time. As you can see right there, the 37 starts way ahead. And I almost wagered that we're going to see them pull the 37 and the 6 down pit road. Well, the 14. Holy cow, Trevor Walker has climbed his way back up to 3rd here, as this race might actually end up ending under caution. It's coming to a close here pretty quickly. Might be able to get back green for one more start. They have stalled on the front stretch. So Dalton Scott leading right now in what has been a very tumultuous race here. Heat number 1. We're getting the kinks worked out for the main event here tonight. As it stands, 10 drivers are going to transfer from the heat here to the main event. And those 10 transfers as they run right now will be Dalton, Cash, Roach, Walker, Newman, Huddleston, Lotus King, Kinsella Jr., Luke, and Thole. And I'll go ahead and turn on green-white checkers just so that we can have an exciting finish that doesn't end under caution. I'll have to reset the whole in our 2003 instance, but that's going to have to happen anyways to reset the lineup and whatnot for the main event. So, I don't expect anyone to understand what's going on right now, but we should have a restart here with mostly everyone on the lead lap of the field. Everyone else is basically retired out due to damage or disqualification. Thinking the solution though is going to be disabling better cautions for the main event later this evening, as I've never had good luck with better cautions on short tracks and whatnot. White flag waves. Dalton Scott leads over Roach, and Dalton Scott is going to be your first one to transfer to the main event tonight, followed by Roach, Newman, Cash, Walker, King, Cat Durham, coming in 11th is Dave Steele Jr., so he will be one of our first drivers in the LCQ, followed by Thole, Leeds, Star, Bunch, Holmes, Fastnot, Malcolm, Fawn, Harvey, and Sustre. Alrighty, so pause for a minute here so I can record who is on to the main event and who to put in the LCQ. Alrighty, so congratulations to Dalton there on taking the first one. And I'm thinking, hoping. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll end up turning off double file restarts and still utilize better cautions for what I can, especially if we need the green-white checkers. That would be ideal. Lapped cars to the back. Okay. Okay, so chaos aside, we're going to go into heat number 2 here and try to figure out who else is going to join the rest of the field for the main event here tonight.
Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything.
No surprise there, as we have Tom Kourting on the pole. Alongside him, we got Brian DeBlank, so good start for Mr. DeBlank. Then we have the 69 of Braden Hunt alongside John Hagan. Late breaking development here for the 45 with the departure of Tashi Gupta. Tyler Shangle is going to hop into his own team truck here and finish out the season in the 45. So that's some star talent to be in the truck series here. Possibly going to be putting that truck into victory lane sometime this season. So then 98 of Krista Cower. Rick Quick hops into the 77 All-Star seat tonight alongside Alan Chavot. Joshua Gaiman alongside Monty Shangle. Craig Popkris and Luis Rodriguez. Paulo Ladino and Jacob Shangle. Anheuser Wagner and Bob Leader hops into the All-Star seat with the 58 Chevy here. Then you've got also another late breaking development with the departure of Quinn Ryan. Nathan Mann, a veteran of the Sylvania Cup Series dating back to 2011, coming out of retirement here tonight to give Todd Rat Racing an opportunity at a win here on the dirt. So that's going to be interesting. Alongside Daniel Paulus Jr. And then we got Chasey Plays, Gavin Legend, and Josh Drake to round out the second heat here tonight at the Chili Bowl.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
So hopefully we can keep the chaos to a minimum in this one.
How quick the commitment line comes up on you into turn 2 there. Don't let him speed because it's a short box right there.
Tom Kourting definitely knows what's on stage here tonight. If he can somehow find a way to victory lane, it's going to be a very Kourting start of the season here, as Tim has now secured 2 wins early in the season. Tom would be defending here tonight from winning last week at Sonoma. Such a weird situation. I don't know why that happens. Our leaders pulled down pit road right there on the start, so they're going to be fighting from behind. I wonder here. I wonder. I don't know if I can turn off tire wear though. Realistic damage, full pace lap. I'm on the lowest pit stop frequency, so there should be no tire wear there. Hmm. Pretty bizarre because I've never had this problem with this track before.
Make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like.
Drivers, start those engines!
So same rules apply as to heat number 1. 10 drivers will transfer out into the main. The rest will get relegated to an LCQ. Still hoping to figure out the situation here with the restarts and with the leaders always pulling them down pit lane. It's very confusing. But it looks like we're good to go now as these guys have made it a full lap. Once we make to the main event tonight, if anyone starts pulling down pit road and does that endless loop, we're going to just disqualify them for the evening. It'll be unfortunate, but it's going to be the best way for a clean race here tonight. Because I sense that there's a pit road glitch with this track. Some of them where, they'll go down pit road and make repeated trips down pit road. So Tom Kourting leading the way here early in heat number 2. John Hagan up to second. Tyler Shangle up to fourth. Third, actually dropping Brian DeBlank back to fourth. Braden Hunt in fifth. Josh Gaiman in sixth. Krista Cower in seventh. Rick Quick right there alongside of her. Alan Chavot running ninth right now, where our final transfer spot would be the 38 truck here of Monty Shangle. Yeah, the USA Truck Series is definitely one of my more experimental schedules that I host, and still trying to figure out the best tracks and the best events to put on the best shows. We figured out tonight that the Chili Bowl racetrack has some minor glitches here and there. Not quite sure how to work around them, but it seems like a restart on occasions fixes the problem. I've kind of fine-tuned it so that my Cup Series has the best tracks available. And even then, I've been experimenting with the schedule this year. We've seen some tracks that have been duds. And it kind of goes hand in hand with my idea for next season to shrink the Cup schedule down a little bit. With a busy schedule as I have, it'll be nice to make it roughly 40 races, maybe 36 like the real Cup schedule is for the Sylvania Cup Series. And it says we've got a caution. Got the 46 of Craig Popcris spun around. Single truck spin here is he just gets up into the marbles. A few other trucks fall into the same line there, losing a little bit of it. Whoa, I've never seen the pace truck that haul in the mail. Holy cow, that was kind of cool. Let's just take a in-car view on the pace truck here and see how fast it gets up to. Go get it. Don't mess with the pace truck. As the rest of the field catches up and gets lined out here. Looks like all 21 trucks still on the lead lap. Fast forward to live. So right now as they run, it would be Tom Kourting, John Hagan, Tyler Shangle, Brian DeBlank, Rick Quick, Josh Gaiman, Alan Chavot, Monty Shangle, Krista Cower, and Jacob Shangle notches his way up to 10th here, getting by his teammate Braden Hunt. I think it's race fuel. That pace truck has NHRA drag fuel in it or something, because it was going to town. You could even hear it in the in-car cam, the RPMs that it was pegging. It was like a whole nother level. We need to have those pace trucks out there racing rather than the trucks that we've got. Must say that last night with the game crashing to tonight with the track glitches and whatnot, it's definitely testing me and my abilities to stay sharp with the situation at hand. There we go, another restart, and the trucks stay out front and they don't pull down pit road. Tom Kourting leading the way. Brian DeBlank up to 3rd. I get a feeling that we might see the Chevy curse break tonight. But they still have to get by a Kourting to secure a win here. Brian DeBlank now up to 2nd. Impressive as it is, there is 3 Shangles running in this heat, with Tyler Shangle, Jacob Shangle, and Monty Shangle. It would be impressive to see all 3 of them transferred to the main event. That last transfer spot is very volatile right now. Oh wow, look at that. Braden Hunt now moves up to 9th. Anheuser Wagner in 10th place takes the position away from Monty Shangle. Wagner getting sideways through the turns, giving it all he's got. This is an opportunity for some of the lesser teams to shine on the dirt here tonight. What's guaranteed right here is a top 25 finish in the main event. I mean, you're only going to be racing against 26 trucks, so that may be a huge boost for one of these teams that have failed to make a top 30 run week in, week out. Braden Hunt had got some damage on the side of his truck there, looks like. Wagner falls back onto the bubble here. He's going to have to defend against the Shangle clan. pretty quiet run here so far, as we've had a green flag stretch for pretty good duration. Lead still belongs to Tom Kourting as he's caught up to lap traffic here. That's right. Last time we were out here, it was Tim Kourting who dominated and led every lap, it seemed like, and only one truck was left on the lead lap at the end of the night, and that was Tim Kourting. So Tom Kourting has an opportunity here to match what his brother's done. Not going to be an easy feat, but it would be an impressive one if he could pull it off. Already showing here in the heat race, as he's put up to 18th a lap down. The bubble spot seems to, oh, and a caution waves. Oh, and we've got carnage with lap traffic amongst some of the leaders. The 89 of Gavin Legend. Oh, Tom Kourting using that bumper, spins out the 89. And this dominoes back to the 86. Unfortunate receiver is the 77 of Rick Quick and the 61 of Josh Gaiman. So that puts an end to the day for a few of the drivers, as you can see already retiring. It's crazy. Being as small a track as it is, there's really no room when an accident comes out to avoid a wreck like that. Watch on the in-car for Josh Gaiman to see just how helpless. Yeah, he's already committed on the fast line there, and really nothing he could do about staying out of trouble. He saw a gap and he was going to take it, but did not realize that 77 truck was going to spin out in front of him. That's 5th and 6th place on our running order. Now, I don't know what the 77 was thinking. He obviously pegged it right for the 89. I think Tom can claim an oopsie on that one. That's that was an unexpected turn of events from a bump and run with a lapped truck. Funny part is our running order on the top 3 remain unchanged, as Tom leads over Brian DeBlanc and John Hagan, as well as Tyler Shangle still running in 4th. But now we've got Braden Hunt in 5th. 6th place belongs to Alan Chavot. 7th, Walker. Okay, let's see if they reorganize here. Oh. So Walkner in 7th. Jacob Shangle in 8th. Bob Leader in 9th. And Paul Ladino in the bubble spot right now for the transfer, running 10th. Not quite sure why they're all bunched up side by side like this. Chasey Plays just jumped. He's a lap down though, so that's... Oh, Chavot's gonna be keeping it careful there. 3 wide right in the middle with Tyler Shangle on the outside. This is a sticky situation. Oh, and there we go. Ow. Hard hit for a bunch of the drivers there. I was following that one because I felt that that was going to be the hot zone. This is what you get when you got guys racing to try and make to the main event. They're giving it all they've got and they're pushing the boundaries just that much. So you can see Chavot kind of gets loose there, bumps up into the 45, but it was all over when he ping-ponged with the 99 truck. And we'll see where this is going to shake him all out. It might actually end up that we only have 9 trucks left running, and someone will be broken transferring to the main event. Someone will be retired with damage. We'll see. One thing remains unchanged is the fact that Tim Kourting leads the way. Jacob Shangle up to second, Tyler Shangle in third, Monty Shangle in fourth. I do not know how this turned out that way, but it did. So now it's been Chavot with Monty Shangle getting tangled up in a wreck. Now it's Tyler Shangle and Chavot getting tangled up in a wreck. The amazing part is the fact that Tyler Shangle didn't sustain enough damage to retire here. Still out there running even though he got slammed into the wall pretty hard. That truck even gets some air, as you can see. Not much frontal damage. The side of that truck slammed into the wall so hard that it bounces right here. But he's going to continue on. As you can see, Jacob Shangle settles into second there. Tyler still slides across the finish line for third, and then Monty fourth. Here we go, restart already waved with only 2 laps to go here. The 3 Shangles sitting in a transfer spot right now, right behind Tim Kourting. If we get a caution, we will get a green-white checkers attempt, but it doesn't look like we're going to need it as Tim Kourting gets the white flag here. Monty up to second, Jacob in third, Tyler in fourth. Braden Hunt right there behind them in fifth, and there's the checkered flag. The rest of your transfers are Craig Popgris, Nathan Mann, Anheuser Wagner, Luis Rodriguez, and Bob Leader. So chaos strikes yet again here in heat number 2. I think what I'm going to end up doing is dialing back the AI strength a little bit so that we're not getting a complete and total wreck fest, and hopefully get some good racing action. But the situation at hand, I do think that they were just driving that hard, being a heat race and all. They wanted to transfer, and they knew that they had to do it then, there, or never. And you saw what some of those sticky situations turn into when they're trying to push the envelope to make the main event. First time ever in the truck series, we've got 3 Shangles competing all at once, which is pretty impressive. Then you got Braden Hunt, who had switched over from the East Coast over here to the West. That was the situation that we had with Andrew Moger switching rides over to the East Coast. So now Braden Hunt forfeits pointing his way in to the chase later on. And all he's got to do is try to go for a win now to guarantee a shot at the championship at the end of the year. Nathan Mann, in his first attempt since, I want to say, 2017. It's been almost 5 years since we last saw him in a Nasser Series race. Good run there for Walkner as well, Anheuser Walkner. Showing some strength here on the dirt. Rodriguez and Leader. So it should be LCQ with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 22 for the LCQ with only 6 of them transferring out. So right now I'm going to go ahead and dial this back to about 87. Our LCQ will be 30 laps long. Don't forget, Centennial, that there is an LCQ, so Chavot could still race his way in. That's what I'm setting up right now. So the LCQ will determine those that got wrecked out in the carnage, give them a shot at trying to make the main event here tonight. See the West, and then all I got to do is remove those that have been locked in. Save as. So Dalton, Roach, Cash, Newman, 21 of Walker, 23 of King, 1 of Huddleston, 35 of Durham, 31 of Luke, number 3 of Kinsella, Kourting, Shangle Monty, Shangle, Jacob, Shangle, Tyler, Braden Hunt in the 69, Craig Popchris in the 46, Nathan Mann in the 66, 95 of Walkner, the 48 of Rodriguez, and the 58 of Leader. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize that John Hagan fell out in that second heat. So there should be 22. Why do I have 23? Sestre right there. There we go. Save. And we will be running the 30 lap LCQ. Green, white checkers, I think. I gotta exit again. Just be on the safe side. I don't trust better cautions completely. Because then we might have that situation where it's only 2 laps long and have to do this anyways. So 3 races before the main event of 20 plus trucks, which is exciting. Looks like the front row, kind of a lot of the same of who we expect to see at the front row in these races. It's going to be John Hagan on the pole with Kyler Sestre. Then we've got Brian DeBlanc and Chris Harvey, Matthew Fassnaw and Rick Quick, Krista Cower and Philip Leeds. Anyone in the back half here is definitely going to be the ones to look out for because they are going to be fighting for their lives to make the main event. Adam Starr and Dave Steele Jr., Alan Malcolm and Paul Ladino, Gavin Legend and Alan Chavot, Bellafon and Josh Gaiman, Daniel Paulus and Chasey Plays, Lucas Holmes and Josh Drake, followed by Jameson Thole and Al Bunch.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
30 laps is a super sprint here. Starting position is going to be key, and those that are at the front of the field are likely going to be finishing there. 22 trucks, only 6 are going to transfer out.
Guys, go be.
Hagan and Sestre holding the line up here as soon as they can get to the start zone and do so. Green flag waves, and it's looking almost like 3 wide could be a situation here. Brian DeBlanc really giving them hell right there in the back corner on the 88 truck. 2 Chevys moving to the front. Ooh, and DeBlanc just makes it, muscles his way underneath the 88 truck. Give the lead to Brian DeBlanc. 3-way fight for that transfer position, as you can see. Alan Malcolm, Chris Harvey. This is a situation you do not want to be in. And it really goes to show how stacked the field is that we're going to be sending some of these folks home. Very, very stacked deck, and it's going to be hard to send any of them home. Wow, Alan Malcolm now settles into 4th. 5th place, Matthew Fassnaw, and 6th place, Chris Harvey. Chris Harvey would like a little bit of wiggle room here, hoping to get by the 09 and develop a safety cushion. As he gets by the 09, that puts him up to 5th. And he's not going to quit there, as he's going to try to take the 9 for 4th. So now Chris Harvey's got pretty solid cushion here to protect him from the elimination. I think bumping the AI aggression down has been the key here. As you can see, they've been racing pretty clean, and I think we should have a very excellent race here on tap tonight for the main event. 18 laps still to go here in the LCQ, and still a lot up for grabs here, as Krista Cower now settles into 6th, taking the position away from Matthew Fastnot. Fastnot now in the elimination chamber. Dave Steele making a run on the Kyle Larson line, trying to drive it high. Seems like that's helping a little bit to gain momentum. He's still going to have to get by Matthew Fastnot, Rick Quick, and Krista Cower, all 3 of them. 14 laps to go. Rick Quick alongside Krista Cower now. This will be for a transfer spot. Rick Quick settles into 6th for now. All in the meantime, still at the front of the field, it's Brian DeBlanc. Looking solid here. No telling how this is going to transition into the main event, but still a good run. 3rd place, John Hagan, along with newcomer Alan Malcolm, with Chris Harvey and Rick Quick. Lap traffic now becoming a factor here, as the 15 of Al Bunch slowing him up a little bit. Teammates, unfortunately, with Al Bunch slowing up his teammate Chris Harvey. Now Harvey on the bubble again. He had just gained all those positions to develop a cushion, and now he's going to have to be biting his nails again, hoping that he can stay in that 6th position. We know there's a bunch of hungry drivers right there behind him, just waiting to pounce. Oh, here comes Fastnot with a run, trying to catch up to Krista Cower. But with only 7 laps to go, I don't think there's going to be much change for this transfer spot. As you can see, Krista has not closed the gap much on Harvey. Do have to put in effect that a lot of these drivers had to go to a backup truck even to start this LCQ, and maybe they didn't quite have all the same setup on that backup truck as they did their main truck. So that kind of equates for the difference in what we've seen with those that are running out there right now. More lap traffic. This could make things sketchy for that transfer position, as the 36 of Lucas Holmes is going to end up holding these guys up. Still only 2 laps to go, this time by the 77, getting way held up here by the 36. And it gets back into the ball court on Chris Harvey here. He's got a hold serve. White flag waving, one more lap to go. Down the backstretch with only 2 turns left to go. Harvey holding on, looks like he's going to get that transfer. Chris Harvey, Alan Malcolm, Rick Quick, John Hagan, Alan Chavot just misses out on it tonight with a 10th. Dave Steele Jr. as well, finishing 9th. Won't be able to transfer to the main event. But Brian DeBlanc, Kyler Sestre, John Hagan, Alan Malcolm, Rick Quick, and Chris Harvey will join the rest of the contenders for the main event here tonight. And so by the way it's going to work out here tonight is the rest of the field from 7th on back will be registered as 27th in the points for the running, 28th, 29th, 30th, and so on. So we're still going to be paying out a full sum of points to all the drivers. It's just that they're going to have 0 laps run, and that's where they're going to finish on the main event here tonight. Well, Chevy gets a heat win. Let's see if they can turn it into a main event win here tonight. There, 27 didn't register as out. Okay, safe. Yes.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Okay, time for the 200 lap main event here tonight. And we've got a pretty stout field of truck drivers raring and ready to go. As we see who is on the front row, it is the 24 of Kyler Sestre with the pole, Trevor Walker outside front row. Then we've got Brian DeBlanc and Tom Kourting, Rick Quick and Braden Hunt, Tyler Shangle and Alan Malcolm, Cash and John Hagan, Chris Harvey and Jacob Shangle, Roach and Dalton Scott, Anheuser Wagner and Craig Popgris, Lotus King and Kat Durham, Nate Newman and Silas Huddleston, Luis Rodriguez and Monty Shangle, Nathan Mann and Luke, and very, very back you got William Kinsella Jr. with Bob Leader.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Green flag waves and we're off and roaring here for the main event. Kyler Sestre with the early lead here. Oh, and Sestre seems that he's got to make a... We will let it roll. It was only Sestre coming down pit road, so... Give the lead to Brian DeBlanc. Rick Quick up to second. Tom Kourting in third. Tyler Shangle in fourth. It's not an easy task to run the dirts here. It's going to be a tough, grueling event here tonight for 200 laps because eventually the leader will start to catch lap traffic, especially in this 200 lap run. So DeBlanc right now picking up where he left off in the LCQ, leading the way. Quite a journey to the main event as he had to go through the LCQ to get here. Tyler Shangle in the 45 truck right there behind him, filling in the seat after the departure of Tashi Gupta. So now Tyler Shangle to pilot this truck in a semi-full-time situation as the team owner. Tom Kourting now making a move up to second. This could be an omen right here, an omen of things to come. Tom Kourting making it look easy, securing second place there. And having turned the fastest lap just a couple laps ago, so look out, Tom Kourting is on his way to the front. Seems like Brian DeBlank's going to have something to say about that all night here. Showing that he's got a little bit extra in the tank. I think a little bit more motivation, especially the fact that Chevy has never won in the USA Truck Series. We could be looking at history here if he's somehow able to pull it off. The other Chevys in the field, you got John Hagan running 7th. And Nate Newman running 13th. Anheuser-Walkner in 14th. Craig Popcris running 16th. William Kinsella Jr. 17th. And even Luis Rodriguez running 19th. Bob Leader in 20th. Driver Luke in 23rd. Cat Durham in 24th. Wow, even Trevor Walker had to pit. So that puts... Well, and there was a change for the lead, which we just missed. As soon as I started going through the pack, it didn't take long for Tom Kourting to challenge for the lead here. As you can see, he gets underneath the 85, rooting him around, and makes it look easy as he kind of blitzes by the 85. The 21 of Trevor Walker, though, however, currently 8 laps down. He came in on lap 3. I don't know if maybe there was something that stalled him on track. Man, he was on pit road for a long time, too. So... Oh, and okay, so I'm going to stop screwing around. It looks like we've got a good battle here on our hands between Tom Kourting and Brian DeBlank on lap 17 here. Before I did the flashback, it looks like he gets alongside the 90, giving it a whole bunch of throttle to take the lead back away from him. There we go, back again with Tom Kourting in the lead. So the lap traffic's definitely playing a factor now. Three wide with the leader, that's never a good sign. But now you got Tyler Shangle up to second. Cruising in there. More trucks coming off pit lane. As this will likely be a feature of survival tonight, whether they can stay out there the longest and avoid going down pit road. Even our leaders might make some odd calls to make unscheduled pit stops. Truly the meaning of the wild card factor here. Tom Kourting leading the way over Brian DeBlank. We saw they swapped the lead a couple times. Now that the lap traffic is kind of factored in, it seems that DeBlank is struggling to make some moves here. Tom Kourting at the same time not able to make as many moves on the lap traffic as he desires. One truck now of Silas Huddleston going a lap down. That leaves us with 15 trucks on the lead lap. There we go, Brian DeBlank showing some muscle there on the lap traffic. Lap 31 of 200. People might be starting to think deja vu here, as Tom Kourting trying to match what his brother's done at the Chili Bowl event. Tim Kourting dominated and put everyone but himself a lap down to win it last time out. And because of the rotation between the divisions, we don't see Tim Kourting here tonight because he's racing on the East Coast. But his brother, Tom Kourting, definitely had this one marked on his calendar as an event that he wanted to try and replicate with what his brother did here last time. Getting by some more lap traffic now. 13 trucks on the lead lap. Tom Kourting is putting on a clinic early on in this one. I'm going to put King a lap down here. Roach there in 12th, about to go a lap down as well. Every pass that Tom makes, the larger the gap grows between him and Brian DeBlanc. Even Jacob Shangle going a lap down here, so now we got 10 trucks on the lead lap. Sestre laps down in 24th. This is not for position to put another lap down on the lead lap drivers. Got to look all the way up to Cash, who's in 10th, Dalton in 9th. And these guys, they're running solid laps comparable to the leaders. So it'll take Tom Kourting a little bit more time to catch them. Tyler Shangle back up into second here. Brian DeBlanc struggling a little bit. This is why we do this, because it writes stories that even real life pales in comparison to. How could we have expected the Kourting brothers to be launched out of a cannon like this? The fact that they have been pretty solid in the month of August. If you look at the schedule, all the wins in August for the USA Trucks have been a Kourting so far. And looking like tonight might not be much of a difference. The gap right now from Tom Kourting to Tyler Shangle is 3.8 seconds. And we'll keep an eye on that, that differential there to see if it grows or shrinks. .81, so it's really staying pretty consistent in the favor of Tom Kourting. One thing that's happened here in the main event that we haven't seen all night is 40 laps, actually now 50 laps without a caution. So we're now a quarter way through the race here in the main event of our 200 lap feature. Tom Kourting just leaving a trail of bodies behind him as he's now lapped up to 9th place, leaving only 8 trucks on the lead lap. actually quite astounding. You know, similar equipment and all, but they're two completely different people. And yet, Tom looking just like Tim here tonight. Don't let this overshadow, though, the situation on some of the newcomers here. Alan Malcolm and his debut running 8th, which is a solid debut. About to get caught here by Tom Kourting, but it's going to be like getting a piece of cake here tonight. Very rewarding night for the number 9 truck. John Hagan in 7th. Rick Quick in 6th. Chris Harvey with a solid top 5 run going. Braden Hunt in 4th. Brian DeBlanc in 3rd. And Tyler Shangle still running 2nd. But that gap continues to grow as the lead is now 4.5 seconds over Tyler Shangle in favor of Tom Kourting. Well, with a little bit of news here, it seems that it's believable because it's happening right in front of our eyes, but Tom Kourting is actually in the very same chassis that Tim ran last season here. And why wouldn't you? If you had the setup and, you know, the truck all put together like this, it never got damaged, it never got hurt. Run it for another 200 laps and try to repeat history, you know? So running the same exact chassis, the same engine. Well, the chassis changed just slightly, I think, but overall it's the same engine, the same tune-up. The only thing that changed is the driver in the seat. The results, however, looking to be about the same as he is now closed in on lapping more than half the field. He's going to have his work cut out for him to catch up to John Hagan. But there's still 135 laps to go, so anything's possible here, especially the longer the race goes. One thing was that this race was only 150 laps last time out. We added 50 laps on it for excitement factor. So I do not know how that's going to wager in on gas, maybe? I don't think they're going to have to make any pit stops because usually, like even Bristol, you'll go about 240 laps before pit stops even become a factor. This track is even smaller than Bristol, so I guess we'll have to see. It might be really close. You might see some folks pitting on lap 195 just to survive the race, or even running out on the last lap on fumes. Gap staying pretty stagnant right now as Tyler Shangle still about 5.5 seconds back from Tom Kourting. This is for sure one of the things that the Kourting brothers had cut their teeth on before making it here into the USA Truck Series. Both of them had been very well chronicled at racing the dirt tracks throughout Michigan. And comes as no surprise to see that expertise, that knowledge carry over into a truck race like it has time in and time out. We've seen Tim Kourting pretty dominant on dirt tracks. And now I guess you got to say Tom Kourting is pretty dominant on dirt tracks as well. This could very well be the first dirt race that Tom Kourting has been a part of. I don't remember when he joined last year if there was any dirt races that he had competed on. It doesn't seem like it, at least, towards the end of the season. I could be mistaken. But no matter the fact, looking like a ringer here tonight at the Chili Bowl. Even Brian DeBlanc can't be upset with a third place run tonight. Third place from DeBlanc could be, well, it would be the highest finishing position for a Chevy since the summer championship started just a couple months ago. We saw David Bird with a top 5 finish a couple weeks back at Rockingham, and that currently stands as the best finish for a Chevy in the summer championship. But Brian DeBlanc looking to top that, settled in at third right now. Just has to survive and weather any storms that might come his way. As you can see, still 7 trucks on the lead lap, but there's about to be one more put a lap down here as Tom Kourting is caught up to Chris Harvey. These passes are not going to be as easy because even the tires are starting to wear down for Tom Kourting, and these trucks in front of him are no slouches, so it might take him a few tries to get by the 12 and the 88 both. But once he gets by these two, he's within range of lapping all the way up to 4th. And then you'll be looking at Brian DeBlanc, which is just crazy to say because we've been talking about him running 3rd here today. And he's going to be within risk of getting lapped by the leader. This in its own allows for this race to be exciting in a different way. It's not every day you see a dominant performance like this from one driver on the field. And a lot of things could still play out here. I mean, we're only 90 out of the 200 laps. There's a lot that could happen, especially for the leader here. We could get a bonus caution late in the race, and maybe the 90 truck's not so good on short runs. Perhaps the 45 of Tyler Shangle has the better short run speed, and it could be a different story. He now puts the 12 truck a lap down, so now we're only down to 5 trucks on the lead lap. We have been caution free for the first 94 laps of this one. Really close to halfway now. 97 of 200 laps complete. Now closing in on 4th place, Braden Hunt. There's only 4 trucks on the lead lap, and Brian DeBlank soon to be in the target from 3rd place. This is definitely a full-blown case of deja vu, as we've seen this situation play out already once in the past. And how special would that be to be the brother of the guy that did it last time? Oh, and there we go. We've got a caution here on lap 110. That makes things interesting as we still have 3 trucks on the lead lap here. We will give a lucky dog to one of them, so the lucky dog will be the 77. And we'll go ahead and do the 88 as well. So what brought out the caution, I wonder? Oh, the 46 coming off the track right there. You can see it right here in our view. The 46 does not rejoin the racing surface safely. Once he rejoins the track here, he makes contact with the 24. Oh, and our 2nd place driver, Tyler Shangle, gets spun out in the ordeal as well. Doesn't hit anything, keeps it going, and only falls back to 3rd. So it's going to be Brian DeBlank starting 2nd here on the restart. So if the way it works, the lap traffic should drop to the back. Lights are out. Okay, so this is where NR 2003 is being difficult because they're trying to mass pass the entire field, basically. Fifth, sixth, there we go. Okay, restart should be underway here. Wave around. Lights are back on the pace truck, but we'll get it all squared away. No, and the game's gonna crash. God dang it. Ah, and we were setting up for such a great event here too. I'm not even sure. Yeah, the lap cars to the back, I think, is what caused the crash. Oh, lordy. I'm wondering, I'm just trying some things here. I don't think we're going to be able to reclaim it. So I've done this before, and that's what's happened before is I've actually considered a race final. The night is still young, and the race, I mean, if we can get it going and finished, it's only going to be like 1 hour length. Yeah, rain in an indoor stadium. I think there's ways that you can actually manipulate the running order. So, I'm going to do something that... At least I've been able to let it run on the broadcast long enough here so that it's actually kind of... So what we're going to do here on lap 116 of 200, we will now take the top 10 Top 10 still 2 laps down. Because I'm going to end up having to chronicle the finishing positions for everyone outside of the main event. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to put up a 100-lap shootout with the top 10 drivers on the field. Someone mentioned something about save file. You can edit the starting positions for each race. I forget how to use that sucker, though. I'm sure I could get walked through it real quick. A couple people that have used it more often than I have. So this, I'll have to come back here later in the evening to actually record who finished 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, as I'm letting it scroll by right now. Once I let them all scroll by, I will close the program. 26th place is Trevor Walker. Close the program. That was a hard close. It didn't want to close at all. So what I'll do, turn these off to reset the actual this has happened before, and I can't believe, I mean, third time's the charm. We will come back here and not have better cautions enabled in any form for short tracks. And I've almost all but outlawed short tracks going forward on any of the NR 2003 simulation because it's just such a cluster, making it work the way it should, and often always disappointed with the situation at hand. So yes, that's what I'll do. I'm going to end up running a modification here so that the main event be the 90, the 85. So hold tight. I apologize. It's out of my control. 23, the 6, the 1, the 95. 24. 58. So back-to-back nights we've had technical difficulties rear their ugly head. This one I kind of saw coming, and I was trying to work around it, and I thought maybe it would actually work out just fine, but I think this is going to be the true test for the Kourting brothers if they can somehow come out victorious, even when the deck stacks up against them like this too. Wait, what's your idea, James? I figured a situation like this, we could treat it as an elimination at midway. So what we have come to a conclusion on trying to do here is we will run the last 100 laps, but we'll treat it as if we made it to lap 100 before the game crashed. And thinking back to a lot of your short track racing where they'll do gimmicky stuff, and I'm not saying that this is a gimmick, but this is to try and fill the situation at hand that we've got. I am on the fly trying to figure out the best situation here to utilize this, but basically what we'll be doing is restarting with the 100 laps with the field as they were running as close to what we could get. So we'll definitely treat the first 100 laps here as official, and Tom Kourting will be credited with what laps have been led up to lap 100. But with the way it's going to work out, the second half of the race might end up being everyone back on the lead lap. So everyone basically gets a wave around, and we'll get to run 100 more laps to see how it all pans out.
Favor, just touch all your seat connections, touch your Hans, just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seat belts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans, just make sure you get everything like you want it.
And yet again, Better Cautions is going to be on the outlaw list for now, as we will now sort the running order. Tom Kourting is leader, Tyler Shangle is second. Brian DeBlank is third. Braden Hunt in the 69, move him up. Rick Quick, move him up. Hagen, up. They're almost right about where the game reset them in a qualifying session. 12 of Chris Harvey, move him up. Trevor Walker's dead last, move all the way down. So in all reality, it actually allows us for a more exciting finish because of the way it got dragged out there under the long green flag run. And another idea which I'll throw out there right now as I'm finalizing the setup, would we maybe want to go for an inverted top 8? Which would have been, actually, let's go inverted top 6, since those were the last 3 trucks on the lead lap. There's 6. I am not speaking well. James mentioned that, and I thought that could be a good idea, especially to kind of spice things up. Tom Kourting would have to come through the field again if we do the invert. If no one mentions in chat within the next minute, I'll just keep it as is and we'll roll with the starting order same as where they were running when the race stalled with a lap 100 rewind. Okay, so what happens when we do this is Tom Kourting will drop back to 6th. John Hagan will rotate to the lead. Tyler Shangle will rotate back to 5th. Rick Quick will rotate up to 2nd, meaning Brian DeBlank stays 3rd. Braden Hunt rotates from... Where was Braden Hunt running? If we invert the top 6, that means that Brian DeBlank and Braden Hunt switch places, move up. Yep, there we go. So the starting order will be John Hagan over Rick Quick, Braden Hunt, and Brian DeBlank, followed by Tyler Shangle and Tom Kourting. Hit the save button. Exit. Close. 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 So everything worked out as set up. It is now Hagan on the front row for the second half on our second stretch of the race here. And honestly, this might be the way to go next year too. If we do this, to do it mid-break, like most short tracks usually do, there's often a midpoint break in the middle. Braden Hunt and Brian DeBlank with Tyler Shangle and Tom Kourting. The rest of the drivers all back on the lead lap here. But it's still going to be a tough feat for anyone to get by the lead 6 here. And this way the race is not going to end on a failure of NR 2003. We're still going to have the win decided by a finish, not a glitchy crash. So 100 more laps to go here at the Chili Bowl. Tom Kourting definitely has the unpreferred line starting on the high side there. Dalton Scott alongside of Tom Kourting right now, getting in there behind Brian DeBlank. Braden Hunt in third, Tyler Shangle in second, and John Hagan cruising out front right now. Fastest lap belongs to Tyler Shangle early on, so he's trying to close the gap on John Hagan. Lap traffic will become a factor here. 21 of Trevor Walker is blitzing his way through the field, starting from 26th. He's cruised his way back up to 14th, which we could also argue the fact that he pitted so early in that first rendition of the run was a glitch in its own, as well as, even though that happened, he probably would have been at the front of the field fighting for a win here tonight. So everything kind of works out one way or another as we're watching what has been one of the most bizarre nights of racing here in the USA Trucks. Chris Harvey taking it to Tom Kourting here, putting him back to 8th. I think Tom Kourting kind of caught off guard here with the way things have played out. But he might just be waiting until the moment to really kick it into overdrive. Don't look now, but Trevor Walker is within range. He has closed the gap to the front of the field all the way up into the top 10 already from dead last. Trevor Walker should be the one with the fastest lap, but it actually belongs to John Hagan right now, who's out front leading. Tom Kourting now settles in line in front of Trevor Walker. This final run has actually been a better gauge of the talent that's out there. As you can see, Trevor Walker really putting it to the field right here. But Tom Kourting coming alive. Seems that he's been, the truck might have been set up for the longer run here on this last half of the race. There goes Trevor Walker by Tom Kourting. That puts Trevor Walker up to 5th. John Hagan way out front right now, giving Chevy their best opportunity to win here today. Catching the lap traffic though, this could change it up a little bit as Hagan struggling to make the passes he needs to get by him. Tyler Shangle closing that gap now down to 2.13 seconds as Hagan leads the way. What this seems to be proving here is that track position really is that big of a deal. John Hagan started at the front and he's staying at the front. Doesn't equate for those behind him that are trying to push their way through the field. As you can see, Trevor Walker really trying to make a run for the win here. Tom Kourting just not making up the difference as he settled back into 6th here, right about where the invert set him. Here we go, Tom Kourting making a move here, getting by the 77 and fighting with Trevor Walker there. Now fighting for 4th. Pokes the nose on the inside of the 21. Now he's going to move his way back up to 4th here. One thing for certain is that this 90 truck is still that same chassis as the number 50 that dominated and led so many laps here with the Tim Kourting win. I still wouldn't count Tom Kourting out. Lap traffic's becoming a little bit more scarce. As you can see, they're spread out pretty well. Hagen making some moves. Still putting a few more drivers a lap down as we have 11 trucks left on the lead lap. So what we're gonna do here is throw a competition caution here at halfway. Oh, no. EOLL number 6. EOLL number 31. So technically what I just did there should put only our lead drivers within range of each other on the restart, since we're not using better cautions, and know for a fact that better cautions is usually the one that's causing the crashes in the race. We will have, there we go, that's good enough. So on the restart here, it'll be John Hagen, Tyler Shangle, Braden Hunt, 4th place, Tom Kourting, 5th place, Trevor Walker, 6th, Rick Quick, and then you got 7th, Kyler Sestre, 8th, Brian DeBlanc, and all of the lap traffic there on the inside behind them. One more shot here with 45 laps to go, and it's going to be a 45 lap dash to the finish. With the lap traffic on the inside, there's no telling if we might have a couple cautions. Oh, and we already had a caution on the restart. Lights are off on the pace truck, so this is going to be a quick one and done. There we go, back in green, going. As our lead pack starts to get roaring around the outside of the lap traffic. This time it's going to come down to who's got the most horsepower to win it all. You're not going to have to deal with lap traffic. It's going to be the fastest truck wins it all here. As John Hagen is dominated in the second half, leading all of the first 57 laps contested here. Trevor Walker now up to third. Tom Kourting slots back into fifth. But now he's got the inside line and hoping to make the fastest run here at the end. Braden Hunt is in a must-win scenario in that 69 truck after switching from the East Coast to the West. Trevor Walker and Tom Kourting both have already won this season, so they have secured their playoff ticket. But everyone's out behind John Hagen right now, as Hagen is cruising with a solid run here at the end. Doesn't seem like Tyler Shangle's closing that gap much at all, as Hagen's actually stretching it up a little bit, now to 1.3 second lead. Tom Kourting's back up to fourth here, but not showing the same speed that he had for the first half of the race. With 30 laps to go now, gap at 1.5 seconds in the favor of John Hagen. But Hagen seems to be slowing up a bit here as he turned to 13.7. That time he turns to 13.6. The gap staying pretty steady. .66 yet again. The true tale here will be if Hagen can make it through lap traffic with ease, as he's already proven to do so up to lap 50 earlier here. .63 is now the gap. 1.3 is now the gap. As you can see, Tyler Shangle in the same screenshot there. 25 laps to go. As long as we have an exciting finish, that's all that's going to matter here tonight. Tyler Shangle giving it all he's got. Making it look interesting here with 23 laps now to go. Tyler Shangle in the 45 DeWalt, replacing Tashi Gupta. Tyler Shangle, the team owner of this truck, so hopping into a truck he's basically put together himself from the ground up. Tyler Shangle Racing has been a staple within the NASCAR series, winning a bunch of races in the Sylvania Cup side of things. Tyler Shangle is yet to prove himself in the trucks, but looking like getting off to a good start here as the boss man is at least within range to get a second place here. Trevor Walker gets back up to 4th, knocking Tom Kourting back to 5th. Hagan really making quick moves now to get through the lap traffic. Seems like this is easy for him as he's made a lot of quick moves to grow that gap yet again. It's all about making it through the lap traffic, and Tyler Shangle has not been doing bad, just has not been doing good enough to match the pace that the 88 truck is putting down. Oh, and we've got a caution most likely. The 35 truck spins out. Caution. Okay, now the lights are off on the pace truck, and it'll be about a 10-lap shootout here. Single file restart with the old NR 2003 rules in place, meaning that we've got John Hagan leading Braden Hunt, Trevor Walker, and Tom Kourting to the restart here. Even Kyler Sestre still running 5th. You got Brian DeBlanc all the way back to 7th there. 10 laps, this will be a shootout. John Hagan has been hard to beat here tonight. But like I mentioned before, this will really come down to who's got the fastest truck now that lap traffic is nowhere to be seen. Tom Kourting settling into 3rd here on Trevor Walker. Got to imagine now that these guys have clear track, they are going to be turning the fastest laps that they could possibly turn to try and win the race here. Only 6 laps remain though, and it's going to be hard for them to catch up to the 88, let alone pass him. Oh, wow. Even John Hagen turns his fastest lap there, a 13.493, which is only second to Trevor Walker in fastest time turn here tonight. Part of this is not going to sit very well with me on the whole outcome of the race, as the product and the payout I don't feel is very official, and it's hard to wrap my head around the fact that white flag waves for John Hagen at the front of the field. And the checkered flag waving for John Hagen. This is going to be a hard one for me to consider official. This would be the official conclusion of the broadcast for tonight, though, as we had a finish on tap. But I think the best way to do this would be to rerun the race off stream and actually compile an official result of the 200 laps, where I feel it would be my only deal is the fact that a Chevy won, but did it truly win, if you think about it? What I'm going to do, and everyone that stuck around, I appreciate it greatly that you were able to stick around. I know for a fact that I could make another race happen within an hour, but I won't have to stress it with other people trying to stay tuned in. So I'll re-rack it and rerun it, and if the same result turns out to be John Hagen is the winner, then we'll just go off of the results here, and I'll actually do the compiling of the two. But the hardest part is going to be crediting the first 100 laps of the broadcast and combining it into the 100 laps run here. So keep an eye out on the Discord. We will have an official result within an hour. As for right now, this will be up in NR 2003 Limbo. And I'm also going to test some things to see whether or not I can use better cautions. I think the sending them back to the back of the pack is what causes the game to crash. So I could still do double file restarts and try to do the modifications during the race to send them to the back. As for now, in the universe, a Chevy has won a race. We saw a Chevy win a heat, and so could be official, but stay tuned. I will post more official scores later on in the night. So Thanks again, everyone. Sorry that the race was such a disaster. I didn't I didn't anticipate that, so I tried my best to make up for it, and I'll just go on my little journey right now, and I'll be back within an hour. So have a good night, everyone. Thanks for staying up, and hopefully we can get the bugs ironed out for next time. So later.